be fatiguing.
Yeah.
Just walking around slowly is tiring. So when you're at a heightened level for
8 hours
or more, 15 hours on some days, and you're covering distance, and it's like, I want to be ready at all times for anything that happens. So I have an arrow nocked and I am ready. So like to do that, it's exhausting. If I didn't train the way I do, I couldn't do that. So who knows what that would result in as far as success. But people don't realize that you know what it's like when you're hunting. It's like almost, yoga poses all day, essentially. I've heard people describe it as.
Yeah.
And because you're going so slow and so controlled, and every footstep is controlled and
just freezing. Like if you're in a situation and an elk sees you and you have to freeze and you're holding your bow in your hand,
Yeah.
you don't realize how damn heavy that thing is.
and they don't have anywhere to go.
And they'll just stand there.
They have
stand there,
nothing
stare
to
through
do
you.
other than not let whatever they're unsure about kill them.
And their vision is based on edge detection, right?
I don't know.
I think it's based on they see
What does
you
that mean?
movement. That's why camo works.
Yeah.
Because if you're standing there, they don't say, "Oh, there's a dude in camo."
Mm-hmm.
They see the pattern and they see the edges. As long as you don't move,
Right.
They don't see.
Oh, right.
anything
Yeah.
funky.
Movement. They definitely
But
pick up movement.
When they see movement with the edge detection, like moving edges, like this edge is moving towards that edge, like what is that?
Yeah.
But if you just stand still,
Right.
But if you got that bow in your hand, you're like, fuck, I don't know, I can hold it like this, and you've got your bow out like this, and you're trying to hold it steady. Like you got maybe a minute, 2 minutes in you
Yeah.
before that fucker starts to shake, and then the elk is like, whoop!
Yeah.
And then
barking.
choom.
Yeah. And so you quickly realize when doing hunts like that what being in shape means.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I learned. Like last year, I thought I was in pretty good shape till I went up there with you. And I was like, God, that one hill that we went up to get the bull
Yeah.
that we wind up getting, fuck, that was hard. And
Yeah.
to get up there, and then the only good thing is I was in good enough shape that even though I was exhausted, I got my heart rate back quick.
Yeah, it
and then I
recovered.
could. It wasn't like I was beaten down once I got up there.
Yeah, because you still have to. We had to get the wind right to get up the hill.
Yeah.
Essentially, what it was, and that recovery is all related to how good a shape you're in.
That thing that we had last year, I mean, I don't know if we ever played the clip, but that moment that we had up there was one of the wildest elk hunting moments. I don't know, I haven't been elk hunting for that long. That was the wildest thing I'd ever experienced.
When you killed your bull,
There was, how many bulls were up there?
like 9.
Just screaming. It's
I mean,
like, blah,
We'd
blah.
pass some bulls, but there was 9 just on that one little hillside.
Yeah.
It was like, it's what I would call a rut fest.
Yeah.
So there must have been some hot cows in there. Those bulls were coming in. They can smell a hot cow, which means the cow in estrus. So she's ready to breed. Ovulating, I guess, is what you'd say if for a human. But so she was in estrus, means she's a hot cow. I mean, those bulls are like, okay. I mean, bulls kill each other.
Yeah.
They kill each other all the time fighting.
Well, tell the story about the one bull that you shot that you thought was in its bed, but was actually dead.
Yes, yeah. No, so I snuck up and I saw this bull and its head was, I don't know. I mean, they get exhausted, so they can lay their head down a little bit and rest. I mean, middle of the day, they up all night rutting, chasing, fighting. So I saw this bull bedded, and it was a big bull, and I'm like, God, I don't know. I mean, it's not moving, but I don't know. Might as well. We've got to make sure. So I took my boots off and I started sneaking in. And I got to about 20 some yards and I'm like, I don't know, but I don't want to be wrong. So I shot the bull, never moved. And it was already dead. It'd been killed the night before. It took a tine in the neck, it looked like.
Wow.
And it was dead from fighting.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, if it got killed the night before, can you salvage the meat?
I don't think so. I mean, it didn't look good.
Was it hot? It was a hot
Yeah,
day?
it was hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
I know. That's life in the wild.
It is life in the wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's we stumbled across one that had been killed, had been poked in the side, but it had been quite a while ago, and it was rotten. It smelled terrible.
This one, I'm guessing it was the night before. It wasn't that long, but the meat had turned.
You realize that, those antlers on their head, that's not just for looks.
No.
That's their weapons of war.
No. This kid, Wes, on the last hunt that I just did in Colorado, he had some good footage of bulls fighting. Oh my God. Dude, they're getting after it.
It's wild.
Yeah. It's that's what makes it, between that being, they're so aggressive, and then the sounds they make, if people haven't heard them, if you hear a bull bugle at 20 or 30 yards, you can't believe how loud that is. Then you couple that with the antlers and the size of them and their aggressive nature, and they're coming, you can hear them coming through the trees and shit's breaking. And as a hunter, you're sitting there and it's a lot to absorb. You know, it's a lot. I saw somebody yesterday commented that they've been practicing at 20 yards on a target, and it's so small compared to a bull elk. And it's like, that must look like a house at 20 yards. How could you miss? And I'm like, well, people shoot over the back of bulls all the time at 20 yards because it's so intense.
Yeah,
They
if you
just
have
panic.
never experienced it, the
Yeah.
screaming alone, it's like when you're near it,
Yeah,
they sound like something from Lord of the Rings.
yeah, yeah.
What an animal, man. I mean,
Oh.
they have everything going for them.
They do.
The looks, the crazy antlers, the delicious meat, the crazy sounds they make, the
Yeah.
wild places that they live, and
Yeah.
the romantic but short life that they live.
Yeah.
They live this wild, crazy, short life, running away from mountain lions and bears and wolves and trying to get laid.
Yeah.
And then fighting other elk to the death with swords that grow out of your head.
Sounds like the life I want to live.
No, I'd rather be the bow hunter.
Oh,
Sleep in a nice place, and even if it's just a tent,
yeah.
someplace with a sleeping bag, nice
Shelter.
little pillow.
I know. Yeah, we'll get up and do this again tomorrow.
Yeah,
They're
drink
out.
out of a cooler.
Meanwhile, they're out there surviving
Yeah.
all night. Never lets up.
To me, it's my one of my favorite parts of the year is just the reset of just experiencing the woods, the real wilderness.
Yeah.
Like where we're going in Utah in the mountains. What's that mountain range called?
Is it the Unitas or Unitas or something like that?
Whatever it is. It's a gorgeous mountain range.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous, and it just reminds you, of what life must have been like before human beings ever existed, before they ever came to this part of the world. And just walking around with those animals, it's a reset. It's a real reset.
Yeah.
And every time I eat that meat, I think about those moments.
I know that connection, and we talk about it, ad nauseum probably, but that feeling.
Look at that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty.
Yeah.
Unita. Winta? How do you say it?
I don't know.
Try it. Winta? Who is that? A Native American word? Winta?
I'm not sure.
Who made that word up? Why'd they put those letters together like that?
I'm not sure.
But that is what it looks like. That's
Yeah.
part of what it looks like.
Yeah.
Really looks like the yeah. Like that right there. That's super. Yeah, that's super familiar to me.
Yeah.
So gorgeous.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And we'll hike we'll start where you see the beginning at the bottom of the screen, and we'll go all the way to that far mountain range. And if you're out of shape,
Yeah.
it's a rough go of it.
You're just gonna take a lot of shortcuts, like into your decision making, and make a lot of poor decisions.
Yeah.
And chances are you're not gonna. I mean, you can kill. People kill all the time. I see it all the time. Look, this guy killed, and he doesn't run a marathon a day or whatever that people.
No, you
wanna
can get
say.
lucky.
Yeah, you can. But if you're gonna have sustained success for decades, multiple times a year, you're gonna have to be at your best.
Yeah.
That's all there's to it.
And I gotta think that a guy like you, who does ultra marathons and all this crazy working out, there has to be something to what you're eating. There has to be.
Yeah.
The fact that you're eating all this wild game is that your diet is like, how much of your diet's meat?
Oh, probably. I would say 40%.
Just 40?
Yeah, 40 to 50.
What's the rest of it?
Carbs like potatoes and rice and fruits and vegetables.
Just think about how much wild game you consume and how protein rich that is, and how like that dark red meat that you get from these
Yeah.
animals, like how good that is for you.
Yeah.
That has to have some sort of an effect on your physical abilities. Because one of the things that people always marvel at with you is like, how the fuck does this guy do so many things? Like, how do you have the time to get up in the morning? I mean, there's been many times you've run a marathon a day. I know people are hearing this, this guy's full of shit. No. A marathon a day. You've run multiple marathons in a day. You've done days where you got up at 3 o'clock in the morning, more than one day, where you ran a marathon and then went to work. Or you've run 18, 19 miles, went to work, and then finished the marathon off during your lunch break. and
Yeah.
then you go lift weights, and then you shoot your bow, or you shoot your bow and then you lift weights. And like, it has to play a factor. I know there's just overall endurance and discipline, and the fact that you've just always given yourself this hard workload and your body's adapted to it. I'm sure that has something to do with it.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're not injured all the time, and the fact that you have all this energy, I gotta think that wild game plays a big factor in all that.
I would think. I mean, I eat wild game every day, every single day, and I know that has to help me recover. But I think aside from that, I think we're, as humans, we're capable of so many amazing things. And it's like, that's why the people who you've had on this podcast that I've like been obsessed with connecting with, because they're humans just like we are, but they do incredible. It's like, how can the same species of whatever, so humans just like everybody else walking around here, do such amazing things? And I want to connect. I always want to connect with those people like Goggins, Courtney Dauwalter, been running with Emma Coburn lately. She's a Olympic steeplechaser. She won the bronze at the last Olympic. I'm thinking she's going to win the gold at this Olympics this coming year. So I try to think, well, how can they do that? They're the same species we all are. There must be something. Courtney's the toughest person I've ever been around. I've been around some tough people, but her mental toughness is unlike anything you've ever seen. And
It's weird too.
I've
'cause
said-
she seems so nice and normal.
She is, but she's couldn't get more, couldn't find a more sweet person. But I've said this before, where a dog will run itself to death. I took that picture right there.
What is this? It says,
So-
we estimate I slept fewer than 4 hours during my 105 hours on the Colorado Trail. Is a combination of 1-minute trail naps and longer attempts in the RV, and sometimes they happen by accident during a group sunrise photo. Weekend at Bernie's anyway, so she just passed out while she's doing this.
Yeah,
Less than ideal overall sleep time, but during the later days, the coughing and the wheezing preventing me from being able to fall asleep.
Yeah, so
Sleep
that's
game needs major work. Explain this whole thing
This-
that she was trying to accomplish.
right. Go to that one Weekend at Bernie's. Yeah, so right here. So we stopped with the sun coming up to take a picture, and she'd been going for 105 hours, what is that, over 4 days, and slept for 4 hours. So we stopped to take a picture, and she fell asleep. I mean, just passed out. But right after this picture, she's up running. So that other picture on the trail that I took with her and Maggie,
It's like, a lot of people will look at this and they'll say, what kind of a human wants to do this?
this was a 3-minute nap right here. So it was going to be 3 minutes or maybe 6 minutes, but sun had just come up, and incidentally, I just seen a big group of bucks in the dark about 2 hours earlier, about I think 3 in the morning. This is probably about 5 in the morning. But I laid my pack on her legs there, and my coat's on her legs. She's the closest one. Maggie's the second one. Who Maggie, in her own right, she won the, it's called Big's Backyard Ultra, where they run 4 miles every hour for as long as you can do it. Get 4 miles on. And she won it last year. Courtney, the year before, was the first woman. Anyway, so these women are insane. But they took 3-minute naps, or a 6-minute nap right here, then back up, and that resets your body. I mean, it's like a Control-Alt-Delete. So before this, Courtney was like so exhausted from all this. Maggie would ask a question, and she'd answer barely audibly 2 minutes later. And so it was me, or Courtney, then me, then Maggie. And Maggie would say something to Courtney. Nothing. 2 minutes later, she'd like, I could barely hear it. She'd answer whatever Maggie said, because her brain was like, they said her oxygen level in her brain was at 70%, which that was because of the coughing and lugging issues and the high altitude and the dust and everything. So her brain wasn't working like it should.
Let's explain what she was trying to do.
Yeah, she was trying to, the fastest known time to run the entire Colorado Trail from Durango to Denver is 8 days and something like 2 hours, I think. She wanted to beat that by a day. So she was trying to run 490 miles from Durango to Denver with 90,000 feet of elevation gain total in 7 days. And to do that, I mean, you can't sleep is, I don't know what the perfect answer is. She was about 22 hours, I think, at one point ahead of the record, but she ended up in the emergency room just because she pushed so hard. What I was going to say is animals will push.
Look how fucked up she looks.
Yeah.
She looks so tired.
Yeah,
Look at her eyes.
I know.
She just looks exhausted.
Yeah, so that her pulse oxygen was 70, which it's supposed to be in the 90s, and if it's at 80 or 85, they say go immediately to the emergency room, to the doctor, and hers was at 70. So her brain just wasn't getting enough oxygen, and I believe the doctor said that, because they said, well, what would happen if she keeps pushing? And he said, well, she'll die on the trail. So,
Well, that's the problem with someone who's that tough.
yeah, that's what I was going
They
to say.
literally can push themselves to the point where their heart stops.
And animals do that. We know that. A dog will push itself. A horse will push itself so hard that they will die.
Not my dog.
No, your dog will.
I throw
Some
a ball
dogs-
from 4 or 5 times in a row, and
Yeah.
he drops the ball and lays down. He's like, bro, we're done.
Yeah. Right. So some dogs.
Yeah.
My dog, like Cash would, he's a lab, and all he wants to do, he'll do
just
that
wanna
till he
run.
dies. Right. So, and horses do that. Horses die a lot, or not a lot, but horses die from pushing. So most humans have that self-preservation mode where, I mean, most humans, that like the hint of discomfort,
Yes.
I'm out.
Yeah.
So, but Courtney has that where, I don't know.
Well, goals are interesting because goals are what force you to pass your comfort zone and go into this crazy level where you realize you're only tapping into a very small percentage of what your body's capable of.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Goggins, what is his quote? The most people quit at 40%.
40%, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's 100% accurate there.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm throwing percentages around here. 40%, 100%.
It sounds good.
But I mean, anybody knows, he knows, right? But
Yeah.
there's a thing that you do when you tap into, like when you have a goal, when you say, I'm going to run 10 miles a day and I'm going to keep doing, like my friend Lex Friedman, the scientist, MIT guy,
Yeah.
he was on the podcast last week. One of the things that he was talking about was he did this challenge where he ran, was it 4 miles every 4 hours?
He did 2 challenges.
Yeah.
That was the first one he did, like
Right.
earlier in the year. Before it was 4 miles every 4 hours, 48 hours,
Yeah.
for 40 miles.
And just talking about it.
I think Goggins.
Yeah.
Goggins set that up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Goggins are friends.
Yeah, okay.
And then there was some crazy push-up, sit-up, pull-up challenge that they did as well. And Goggins said, "Whatever you do, I'm gonna do double,"
Yeah.
which is just a nice little mind fuck when you're falling apart and you realize that Goggins is doing twice what you're doing. But
I love him.
there's something about a goal like that where you set it in motion and you realize you have to do it, where it forces you out of your comfort zone. It forces you to realize what your body's actually capable of, which most people just never do. That's one of the great things about making someone compete. Like the great thing about training for a marathon or getting ready to do something is like when you have a goal and then you're committed to the thing and you actually have to go and do it. Then and only then do you often find out what your body's actually capable of.
Yeah, yeah. And still, even during that goal or that performance, it's really hard to push. I mean, push and give all you got. I remember my kids, I would say, did you give all you got? Yeah. I said, well, I didn't see, you weren't throwing up. You didn't throw up at the end. You know, it's like when you push, I don't even, I mean, it's not like I can say I do that every time either, but it's like, who really pushes with all they got?
Well, and what is that line? Like,
Yeah.
what's after that line? Do you die?
I don't know.
And would you be happy if you pushed so hard that you died? Like, well, this is
Yeah.
a good way to die.
Well, no. Then you know you gave your all.
That's
But isn't that so? That's what fascinates me
Yeah.
with these people, with the Goggins and Courtney and you know, also in some respects, Emma is like performing at this level, and it's just incredible to me.
Yeah.
It's like, so I want to know, how can I take whatever mindset they have, apply it to myself, in what I do. So that's all I've tried to do. Is and I've said a million times, I'm definitely not talented. I spend time around people who are the best at what they do, and hoping a little bit I can pick up a little bit, get that mindset like Goggins flips that switch. Courtney just has no switch. It's just
What
how
is
she
what is talent? I want to know what that is. Like when you say you're not talented, because you're obviously very successful at both as a bow hunter. You probably, I mean, if there's 3 top bow hunters on the planet Earth, you're in that top. I don't know how many people are the best bow hunters on Earth, but in my mind, you're in that group. What is talent? Like if you're that good at bow hunting, and I've seen you shoot targets 150 yards away and shoot balloons. I mean, you've seen me do some ridiculous shit. You're obviously incredibly talented with a bow. Like, what is talent? What does that mean to you when you say I'm not talented?
To me, I always equate talent to physical, like performance. Like, say, running 100 meters or
Like
jump.
a freak athlete.
Yeah.
Okay.
I equate talent to athleticism.
Right. Like a Mike Tyson or Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
Some just freak athlete.
Or runners. I mean, runners.
right.
There's like we've
Usain Bolt.
We've been running since the beginning of time.
Right.
If you're one of the fastest humans to ever run,
You have to be talented.
that's talent.
Yeah, there's things that people get that you are never going to get. Right? There's a certain amount of speed people can generate, a certain amount of power people can generate. There's things that people can do. But the kind of things that you're doing, it's not required. It just requires mental strength. You're doing endurance runs, or these long ass mind torture runs. They don't require that sprinting shit. They just require that ability to keep going when you don't want to keep going.
Right.
The ability to maintain a pace that's painful.
Right. Yeah, I was talking to because after my hunt in Colorado, I went and ran with Courtney. We did a 14,000 foot peak, and then I ran with Emma the next day, and 2 totally different athletes. Courtney's, the 7 days, crazy. Emma's the 3,000 meters, and I was talking to them both about pain, because Courtney's pain isn't as intense, but it's for a long time, a week, or days. Emma's pain, she wants to break 9 minutes in the steeplechase. She never has. 9:02 is her best, I believe, and she'll have to break 9 minutes probably to win the gold medal.
What's a steeplechase?
That's 3,000 meters, and it has the barrier, like the water barrier. So you jump over barriers, and then there's a water barrier too. Have you ever seen them jump over?
I don't think I've ever seen a steeplechase.
Look up Emma.
Here it is. This is it right here?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
her.
wow. So you
That's
jump
her.
over water. Damn, look how much air she gets.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that's her. So it's like, she has 9 minutes, and you can see her, like, there's a good video of her winning the world championships, Emma Coburn World Championship.
So the steeplechase thing, the water, you have to jump over the water? What if you land in the water?
They land in the water.
That's okay?
Yeah.
Just slows you down?
They can't really clear that water, so they plan on running and landing in the water.
What a weird thing to have a puddle in your run.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. So that's right, and she's taller than like those the other girls.
Oh, so
they're usually from Ethiopia or Kenya.
But what a weird event. You make them jump over a fence into a pond.
Yeah.
That's so bizarre. I never
I
knew
know.
this existed.
No,
How did
see,
I go
like,
this long?
Here's another one. Yeah. So some don't have the water, like just have that barrier there. I think there's 4 per lap.
How many people eat shit jumping over that barrier?
Where'd she go? Oh,
Look at her.
yeah.
Hustle.
Oh, I know.
Look at them legs. Damn.
Yeah,
Get some length.
She can. So anyway, so she's got 9 minutes of pain, and I was asking her about, because there's always a decision. Like, I watched her run this mile race, and she was kind of in back with about a lap to go, and there's always that decision, like, do I want to go now and have it hurt really bad, or just kind of, it wasn't my day? Like, how do you decide to deal with that pain? And so that's what I was asking her about, because that's what fascinates me.
And what did she say? So there she did it in 9:19. So she's got it down to 9:02.
Yeah, she's at 9:02 is her best now.
God damn.
I know.
Look at all those ladies are beaten down at the end of that. That
Oh,
looks so exhausting.
So painful. Yeah, so she's from this little town, Crested Butte in Colorado, and that's where I went and ran with her. And it's that's 9,000 feet
What was her answer to that?
to
To like
the pain.
deciding.
She's just so her brain is so focused in on that time, that 9 minutes, where it's just like, and so it's just she knows that if she pushes now, it's only going to last this amount of time. You know, it's just this is what she's got to do. This is how it works. She's been doing it her whole life, and so it's just push through. So like if she's so regimented on time from doing track her whole life, she'll like say, well, can you meet me at 10, and then we can get coffee and till about 10:20, and then we'll go. We should be able to get to the mountain by about 10:30, and then we can run and we should be done. I mean, like everything is like so regimented because her brain works like that. So when she thinks about that pain, I think she just knows that it's going to be the certain amount of time, and then it's going to be over, and this is what she does. So it's different than say a Courtney, who's not going to, it won't be as intense because with sprinting when you're exhausted, it just hurts.
Right.
It's so easy to be like, that's what I was asking her about, because when I watched her run the mile, that's not her event. Her event is 3,000 meters, which is more than a mile. So I said, you could easily said, well, this isn't my event. You made that decision whether to go and pass all these other girls and win, or just be like, this wasn't my night, this isn't my event, whatever, and just a little bit less. So this decision on should I go or should I stay right here where it's comfortable, this feels good. I mean, it's still hard, it's still an effort, but it's not the pain like going. So when you make when you make this decision, she almost went right there, but didn't. See that? So when you make that decision, I think this is a World Championships.
Yeah, this is that we just watched, but this is the full race.
No.
So you hang back
No,
knowing.
this isn't. No, I don't. No.
Sorry.
That was 2014. This is so watch this. She passes right here. This is a World Championships. Going over this water, that girl in the middle didn't go over good. Emma did, and right here, so she's turning it on. But now it's now the finish line is there. But see how controlled and like fluid she is, and this is so fast.
God damn. And so she went on that crazy run with you and Courtney as well?
No.
What was she doing?
They're two different athletes. No.
She didn't run that? Like, she was sleeping up there with you guys, right?
No.
Did she crash?
No, that was Maggie.
Oh, Maggie.
Yeah.
And
she's an ultra. This is Emma Coburn.
Emma, Maggie. Those are such white girl names. I just conflate them all together in my head.
Yeah, no, Emma lives in Crested Butte, so I met Courtney in Leadville, and that's, we ran Mount Sherman, which is 14,000 feet. So I met her at 4 in the afternoon, Courtney and her husband, Kevin. And we did this big 11-mile loop, and we did a 14,000 foot peak. And then I stayed there at their house. And then the next morning I got up and drove and met Emma in Crested Butte, which is another small town in Colorado, and it's high altitude, and that's where Emma grew up and her parents live. And so I met her there the next day, and we ran, I don't know, shorter distance, but she runs so much faster, 5 miles or whatever. But for me, running 5 miles at 10,000 feet with her at that pace, it's like,
She's got some length too.
oh yeah.
How tall is she?
I would say 5'7".
But her legs are so long.
Yeah.
And
And
she's running. She got that crazy long stride.
yeah, and she's run trails there at 10,000 or 9,000 feet, and it's just like that training. And to go over those barriers, you have to be athletic.
Yeah.
Like
It's a different explosive
she's
move.
more athletic than say the girls from Kenya.
Right.
They're smaller. But they live. Kenya's high elevation too. So, but if Emma lives at that same elevation, has the same talent.
Fastest mile ever run on Colorado soil, running 4:32.7.
Yeah, that's the one
Emma?
that's the one I watched. That's where I
Wow.
said she was in. Yeah, she was in at the back, and then I said that decision you made to turn it on. No, that's not it. Oh,
Just a slow motion version of it.
Oh yeah, I think this was a couple years ago. She just broke that outside.
Oh, so this is the indoor version of it, and then she broke
Yeah,
it
yeah.
outside?
Yeah. But yeah, so I just was interested in how that decision was made.
Now, when you talk to her about her training, how much of her training is just running, and how much of her training is like strength and conditioning? Does she do plyometrics? Does she? Because she's got to not just run; she's got to jump over things.
Yeah, she runs every day. Usually, I think she runs about 70 or 80 miles a week when she's training, and so it'll be about 10 miles a day, split up a couple times, and then she'll lift, I believe, 3 times a week. And so we lift it together too, and it's just, yeah. She's strong, definitely strong.
Oh, you have to be.
Yeah.
You could see it in her legs, like in the fact that she's able to get over those hurdles while she's in the middle of this crazy run.
Yeah, yeah.
Whew.
Well, a 4:30 mile, fast.
There's something also so crazy about your goal in life, like what you do. The thing that you concentrate on the most is your physical body.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're banking on this. You're banking on your tissue.
Who is humans?
Yeah, any human that does that.
Yeah,
Whether
yeah.
you're a fighter or a baseball player or a
Right.
runner, there's something crazy about banking on your body. Like I always, when I look at professional athletes in particular, I'm always like, ooh, like boy, anything can go wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and then it takes forever to fix. It's not
Yeah.
like you blow out a tire. You go to the car shop and you go to the tire place. You get a new tire.
Yeah.
You blow out a knee.
That's been the only secret to any success I've had is that longevity.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people who've been better than me for short span. But if you can just keep doing it,
Keep grinding.
keep grinding, keep hammering, I don't care what it is,
Yeah.
you're going to get good.
Yeah, that is the case. How do you avoid injuries? Because you train so much.
I get massage and
You do those Normatec boots. Still
yeah,
doing that?
I got those. Yeah, thank you.
I sent you those.
You
yeah.
sent those to me.
Those
yeah.
things are the shit.
Yeah, the Hyperbolt, the hammer with the ball on it. That
Massage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do that with Eric. Comes over about 3 times a week. You trained with Eric too.
Yep.
And goes through, breaks down my hamstrings and calves and hips especially. So.
Dude, I had a lady that was giving me a massage, and I had a Theragun, and I wound up just having her just use the Theragun. Like she was giving me a massage, and it was great and everything, but there was just like one spot in my back. And I was like, just try this for a second.
And that worked.
Yeah, man. Like
Yeah.
half the massage session was just her jackhammering me, just
Yeah.
working me with that, and it was more effective than anything because you could do something with those things where you can push all the weight in like a massage, but it's doing something that
Yeah.
you're not going to be able to do with your hands.
Right. There's this girl who does my massage. Her name's Erin. She is so amazing. I can say something that's bothering me. She can go, like, feel my leg, go right to it and just feel it.
She just knows where the
Yeah.
knots are.
And then she'll do something else on some other side or some other place. And it's like, I've had a lot of massages. Definitely there's, just like we say, there's levels to everything.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
Some people just understand bodies. They're intuitive. Like they know
Yeah.
where you're tight, where you have strain. Like, did you pull your hamstring? Did you do this?
Yeah.
Like, do you have something going on with your back? Like, what
Yeah.
do you mean? This side is tight, so you're probably compensating for something's on the other side. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So the only way you're going to over, 10, 20, 30 years to continue to do it is for maintenance, is taking care of your body. You say it is tissue, it is muscle, it have joints and ligaments. If something happens with those, you're training. Then
you've
you're,
never even had any operations, have you? That's bananas. I've had a bunch. I'm amazed.
Well,
How are your knees okay? That's the other thing. How the
I don't
fuck are your
know.
knees okay?
I don't know. People ask me that all the time. I was like, how do you answer that?
I mean, have you gotten an MRI? You don't have any meniscus problems?
No.
Nothing? That's bananas.
No,
You're my age.
Yeah.
You've been running forever. You don't have any meniscus. I have all fucked up meniscus.
But you also did a sport that was hard on your knees.
Yeah.
Right.
But running isn't?
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
It's maybe I have good genetics.
Yeah, you obviously must.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was pretty good with my right knee until I heard it in a kicking contest with Joe Schilling. I tore my meniscus like a year ago like a moron.
At the old studio?
Yeah, kicking that thing, that
Yeah,
machine. We had
yeah.
the registers how hard you kick.
Yeah. You did
Yeah.
it then?
With jeans on.
I
Yeah.
remember seeing the video.
Yeah, no warm up. 52 years old, slamming into that thing at full clip as hard as I can.
Yeah.
But that's a problem when something shows you a number.
Yeah.
Bing,
Oh, I know.
bing, and
It's
just
immeasurable.
and you just wind up.
It's immeasurable.
But to wind up like that, if I was coaching someone, I'd say, stop. You got to warm up. Let's jump rope. Let's get a sweat.
Yeah.
Let's get going. Stretch out a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's start slow. Like when I work out on a normal day, I don't just walk up to a heavy bag and full blast, start kicking
Yeah.
it. I build up.
But you can't have a contest with Joe Schilling and say, hold on, let me warm up
Exactly.
first.
He's too much of a hard man.
Yeah.
We had to step up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tear your knee.
Yeah, my knee's still fucked up.
Is
I mean,
it?
it's not fucked up to the point where I can't do things. Like I can still kick.
Yeah.
I can still run. I can still do all those things, but I feel it where I didn't used to feel it before. But that's why I'm amazed that you don't have any of these kind of injuries. You had I remember you had a fucked up foot at one
Yeah.
point in time.
Oh, I have there's injuries, there's being hurt and being injured. You know,
Yeah.
I hurt all the time. I
Right.
hurt every day, but I haven't been injured.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Are you taking CBD at all?
Yeah, sometimes.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was getting arthritis in my toes. Yeah.
And did it help?
In my big toes.
Yeah.
My big toes, like at the joint where my foot
That
meets
can
my
be-
big toe. It was very annoying.
Yeah.
And it's from kicking, just because you're always like pushing off.
Oh, right,
pushing
yeah.
off, pushing off.
Yeah.
And my toes just got so tired of me doing that, and they were getting sore. And then I started doubling and tripling down on CBD, particularly like CBD gummies. That's my new trick because it's like I'm eating candy.
Oh.
Those CBD MD gummies are like 1,500 milligrams. I just chuck like fucking 10 of them down at a
Do they
time.
have the THC in them?
No, none.
Oh,
Zero.
really?
Zero high at all. But it killed it. Like whatever, like I was like, God damn it, am I going to have to get some? I was thinking I was going to have to get PRP or something done to my
Yeah.
big toe.
And that helped it.
Killed it. I don't have any problem with it at all. Now it's whatever it was gone away. Dave Foley told me the same thing. Dave Foley told me he was getting serious arthritis in his hands, where his hands were like this. He couldn't open up his fingers. He started taking CBD on a daily basis, and then now his hands are fully functional. Like whatever it was, he stopped in his tracks. It's just inflammation.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I saw. Well, when Trump and Biden get here, you're going to do the DMT question, right?
Oh, well, I'm going to get them high first. Both of them are going to get high. We're going to do mushrooms. I'm going to bring in a shaman.
There was that Babylon Bee that I showed you today. They did have a thing that said, like, Trump was on here for an epic 7-hour interview with Rogan and said had the best marijuana possibly he's ever had. It was like tremendous, or you know how Trump has these things. But yeah, it was so funny.
Amazing pot. Can you imagine getting that guy high?
He doesn't even drink,
No.
does he?
I don't think so.
Oh, this
There
is
he
it. Yeah,
That's
see?
That's the picture. That's a great picture.
It is. But what was the caption, Jamie? Can you find that? What did it say? Oh my God, it's hilarious. Yeah,
Toast to lively 7-hour interview with Joe Rogan. Imagine.
yeah.
Imagine how many votes he would win if he did that. Well, I bet a lot. I bet he'd lose a lot too.
Yeah.
People are like, "What is happening? You need some more of that? I'll have.
I don't know.
Want some more coffee?
There might be a little bit.
We can get some more.
Okay.
Put the order in." Yeah, that guy. He's not taking anything but perhaps a few uppers to help with speeches. You
Yeah.
see with the Biden thing, Trump said he wanted to do a drug test before debates.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
What does he think Biden's on?
Oh, they got him hopped up on something.
Really?
Yeah, if you're that tired,
Yeah.
I guarantee you they're doing something with him.
Him talking. Oh my God, it's painful. I mean, it's like I feel embarrassed.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad, and then there's the tremendous pressure that's involved in that job.
Yeah.
I mean,
I couldn't imagine.
No.
I mean, not being at your best.
No.
That's what I've always been. I just don't get how there's these people who have been in politics for 50 years. And I'm like, okay, good job. Thank you. You did it. You served whoever. But isn't there somebody better? I mean, smarter, younger, like more energized? Why do we have these 80-year-old guys?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, there's got to be people who are just like on the top of their game. You can't be at the top of your game when you're 80.
You got to wonder, like, what it is. what it is with the powers that be that decided to go with him. Did they think that he's a known name, a former vice president, so that brings
Yeah.
him to? But there was obviously some shenanigans because they were really worried about Bernie Sanders taking the nomination. They were
Yeah.
really worried that he was going to enact some radical change to the Democratic Party, and they were not looking forward to that at all. So
Yeah.
you know, they stepped in, got Mayor Pete and Amy Klobuchar and all those other people to back out, to back down, and then all the delegates went to Biden, and then Biden winds up being the guy, and you almost feel bad for the guy.
Yeah, I mean, that can't be our best option for running. I mean, so whoever wins, you want to feel confident. You
Yeah.
know? And I know people on the other side of where I am don't feel confident in
I think
Trump.
they're banking on Harris. They're banking on people saying, well, she's young and healthy. She'll take over.
She is young. I mean, so it goes to that point of being young and, energetic. But, yeah, I mean, she's kept a lot of people in jail.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man,
I know.
politics, what a mess.
It's gross. It's gross. And I don't know what the best way to do it is. I think our founding fathers had some pretty brilliant ideas.
How were they so dialed in so long ago?
It's amazing.
To know they write this Constitution not to protect the government from the people from the government from overstepping. How did they know? I mean, maybe because it was the king and queen and
Yeah, I think they saw people had an understanding of psychology back then, of just human beings and just the natural tendency of people to abuse power and to abuse influence. And I think they just came out with a really brilliant way to sort of have checks and balances to keep that from getting completely out of hand.
yeah.
It's amazing. It really is
is.
amazing if you stop and think about that,
And how old? There's this young man, Madison Cawthorn. I think he's like I don't know. I can't remember what seat he won, but one of the youngest to ever win an election. I think it's in North Carolina. But he mentioned something about the age of,
the Jefferson.
Yeah, like how old were they?
People didn't live that long.
I
back
know,
then.
but
they got like toothaches and died.
right? Were they in their 20s?
I wonder. Let's Google how old was Thomas Jefferson when he drafted the Declaration of Independence. How old do you think he is?
It's close to 40, I believe.
Close to 40. Still pretty amazing.
Yeah, or maybe maybe
What if you go back and you actually look at him and he looks exactly like Jared Kushner? Wait,
everybody does.
it's him.
Hold on 1 second. An age in 1776, Thomas Jefferson was 33.
Wow.
So young.
And fucking smart as shit.
Yeah. I mean, I think some of those guys were in their 20s.
40, 53, 46, 39, 35, 70 years old.
Who's 70?
65, Benjamin Franklin.
Wow.
Holy shit. He had to be eating wild game meat.
Yeah, for sure.
He's a 30-year-old.
Well, he got electrocuted a bunch of times, right?
26.
He had
There
a
was
kite.
a 26-year-old lawyer.
Who was 26?
Jared
a lawyer,
Kushner.
Thomas Lynch Jr. from South Carolina.
Okay, see?
He
I
died
mean,
3 years later.
He
Right.
died 3 years later. Yeah, the stress of coming up with that fucking information.
No,
Another 26-year-old from South Carolina, lawyer, plantation owner.
no, he had COVID.
No, he had a
Edward
toothache.
Rutledge.
Wow.
That's
Well,
it.
no,
Yeah, two
they're
26-year-olds.
counting his death as COVID, guaranteed.
Yeah, it is really amazing at how smart they were.
Yeah.
But, when you read, letters from, like, the Civil War era, if you read letters back home, like, the way people wrote back then was so eloquent.
Yeah.
At least the ones that obviously, there's probably some
Right.
morons that wrote some fucking scribbles, too.
Yeah.
But there were some letters that were written back then where the prose is it's so elegant, it's so
Yeah.
well written,
Yeah.
so beautifully crafted, these letters that they would write.
I know.
And you get to read them. You go, well, what has happened between then and now?
I'd like to get letters like that. I mean, that would be, you'd feel special if you got a letter like that. God, I know.
The way they communicated back then was just different.
Do
Our
you think people would have spiced up how they wrote just in case they know it wasn't going to be personal correspondence? They wouldn't want people to think they're dumb, so they add in they'd like spice
But
it
the
up
problem
or-
is when a dummy writes things and tries to make them seem smart. Have you ever gotten an email from someone that's dumb that tries to be
they
smart?
just would have someone else write it for them back then. Like, hey, I can't write this, but write a letter to my girlfriend, make it sound good.
Yeah.
Tell her I miss her. Send it off.
Perhaps.
I'm just wondering because people do that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They do. They have
So
Ghost
would they have
Riders.
done it back then?
They're a little more. We're a little more diabolical now, though.
I wonder if there was like a market for Ghost Riders back then for letters back home.
Had to be because there's only so many people that could write.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I'm just
I don't
saying,
know about
like,
that.
Or even the access to the tools to write and
But a
quill?
feather?
to make it look good.
I
File it
wonder.
Yeah.
Paper.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just wondered.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I think people were. It was a harder time, and during harder times, people are more disciplined, and people that are more disciplined probably are more. They're harder on their children about learning and grades. This probably wasn't so flippant because it's like the consequences of not succeeding in life back then were literal starvation. It was
Yeah.
a different time, and I think when you have those consequences, you develop stronger people. You develop people with. They don't have any room for error. There's no. You can't fuck off.
No.
You won't make it.
No. I know. It's pretty amazing to think that we're still going by the doctrine they came up with.
Amazing.
You know,
and it's the best one we have. Like no one's come up with a better doctrine.
Where is your pocket? Didn't Tim
Yes,
Kennedy
he
give
did.
you a pocket?
It's at home.
cut?
I have it framed.
You don't have it with you?
No, it's in my pocket. It's gonna get like gum
you
on it and
need
shit.
to reference it.
It'll get scratched up. A pen will leak on it. I can't have that.
Okay.
I need it.
I
at
thought
home.
that was a good gift, and he gave you
Yeah.
a gun. That's cool.
Yeah, Jamie's been shooting everybody. That's all he does now.
Well, that's what people with guns do.
That's what I've been hearing.
It's just open
Joe Biden's
season.
gonna put a stop to that.
Oh my God.
Well, I was watching some video where he was talking about making gun manufacturers responsible for shootings. It was the weirdest analogy that he was drawing, and then he went on and erroneously said that guns kill 150 million people a year, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Or 150 million people since a certain amount of time. That doesn't make any sense at all. But the thing that he was saying was that imagine if drug companies weren't responsible for people dying of drugs. Well, hey, Joe, they're not.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that, but they're not. I mean, do you know how many people die every year from drug overdoses?
I don't.
How many? A lot. How
Yeah.
many people are going to jail for that?
Yeah.
Is there any?
Nobody.
Are these drug companies really responsible for that? Are they really being held accountable?
Yeah.
I don't
not
think
the
they are.
companies. Maybe
Occasionally.
maybe the street dealer's going to jail.
Yeah, well, occasionally drug companies get in trouble. You
Yeah,
know, like
never
for
hear about
opioid deaths or for misrepresenting the dangers of the addictions to opioids or some of their drugs. That's true. Sometimes they get fined
Yeah.
and they get in trouble. But what he was saying was really weird. It's like people say things just because they think that people want to hear solutions. Like, hey, there's all these guns and shooting.
Yeah.
Someone better do something. You know, and then someone will come along and say something like that, like guns are responsible for 150 million people every year.
And
like,
here's what I'm going to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know.
Do you remember when he got confronted by that guy at a auto factory?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "You're trying to take away
Didn't he
guns."
cuss him
You're
out?
full of shit.
Yeah, he cussed him out.
You got old grandpa on him.
Well, that's a problem with you know how. So when you get old, you know, I don't want to talk shit about old people, but you can't think you're just not at your best. So what happens? What I see, and maybe he has dementia, maybe not, but those guys they're cranky. They
Yeah.
get mad. They can't think of what they want to say fast enough. So instead, they just get mad.
Yeah.
And that's what it seems like he does.
Yeah.
He like lashes out and comes up.
You're full of shit.
Yeah.
Well, I think you
Dog
also.
faced pony soldier. Did you see that one?
Yeah, that was a good one too.
What is? I don't even know what that is.
You're a lion, dog-faced pony soldier. That's a great thing to say to someone.
This is the first time I've ever heard it.
Should be a good band.
Yeah.
Dog-faced pony soldier.
That would be a good band.
Good name for a band. Like a weird funk band.
Yeah,
Dog-faced pony soldier.
I like it.
Yeah, I could see them in Coachella.
Yeah,
It's a thing that when he gets mad like that too, it's almost like it's a tough guy thing too. It's like he's around all these hard men that are working in a factory,
Yeah.
and he's like, "You're full of shit. I'll show you guys. I'm
God.
a fucking man."
It reminded me of Floyd Mayweather, and he knocked out Victor Ortiz when they were kissing or whatever they did. But Jim Gray,
Kissing?
not well. Remember?
Victor Ortiz headbutted him.
I know, but then
And
they made up. And it
No,
wasn't-
Victor Ortiz went to make up with Floyd Mayweather.
They
And
did.
Floyd Mayweather was like, yeah, okay, boom.
Yeah,
and
but
then
it wasn't Jim Gray. It was an older. God, what's his name?
Larry Merchant.
Yes, Larry Merchant. And Larry Merchant said that if he was 50 years younger, he'd kick Floyd's ass.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
I was like, okay, No, you wouldn't have.
No, you wouldn't.
But it reminded me of he got mad and then he was just going to kick his ass.
But what a crazy thing to say to literally one of the greatest boxers that's ever put on gloves.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make an argument who the greatest boxer of all time is, but
Yeah.
you better have Floyd Mayweather in that
He's going to be
argument.
in there.
He's in that argument.
And probably if you're holding a microphone, you probably weren't ever going to kick his ass.
What's up with the Mayweather fighting Logan Paul? You seen this?
Yes,
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
yes. Well, Logan Paul
I got
wants to make
Logan
some
Paul
money.
in that fight.
Well, one thing I will tell you, Logan Paul is a really good athlete, and
Yeah.
he's an enormous man. Now,
Right.
if it was an MMA fight, I would pick Logan Paul.
Well, Logan.
Listen to me. There's a video of Logan Paul wrestling with Paulo Costa. It's a real live wrestling, live wrestling sparring session where he is exhibiting real skill. He knows how to scramble. He's got real wrestling skill. And
He
I know
wrestled
he
in
wrestled
high
in
school.
I think he wrestled in college as well.
Oh, did he? Okay.
No, didn't. Just in high school.
But he was good though, right?
Did he go to college?
Went to OU,
And he didn't wrestle.
biggest party school in the country.
I just
Yeah.
partied.
Yeah.
So he's from Ohio,
Started
right?
fine.
How
That-
g- how
that's
wa-
why you know Ohio.
That's why I know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
He
why I
knows
know a
everything
little bit
Ohio.
about, So
How good was he in high school?
I remember hearing. I don't know if he won state, but I'll check that real quick.
Either way,
Yeah.
him with Paulo Costa. Paulo is the UFC's #1 contender in the middleweight division.
And
He's
the
a
most beautiful man in the UFC.
perfect specimen of a man and a wrecking machine.
Yeah.
Just a fucking wrecking machine.
Yeah.
And the two of those guys they're doing a wrestling drill and sparring, and Logan Paul is hanging in
Yeah.
there, man,
Yeah.
with an elite MMA, world championship caliber fighter, a guy who went to war with Yoel Romero and walked him down.
Right.
I mean, Paulo Costa is a monster.
Yeah.
He's and Logan Paul is hanging in there.
Yeah.
And I don't care what anybody says. Like that, what I saw in that, I'm like, that kid is
Yeah.
impressive.
No, he's got to be 6'1".
He might actually did. Let's see. He joined the wrestling team. This says Ohio State in Athens, which is not. It's OU. So he might have joined the team. I don't know if he had a record, if he performed with them, or if he just.
Okay,
joined
so he
the
did a
team.
little bit of wrestling in college, but he wrestled in high school as well.
Yeah.
Either way,
He's a big dude.
He's a big dude, and he's a real athlete. And one of the things that I saw, I know he lost his boxing match. They had a draw the first time, that he lost the second time. But when I'm seeing him throw punches, like he's
Yeah.
very athletic. He
Yeah.
throws punches with good technique. But obviously the other kid that he boxed with did as well. But there's such a difference between that and Floyd Mayweather. In a boxing match, it's going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
The only thing is that Floyd is so much smaller than him.
Yeah, he's got to be compared to Logan tiny. That's why I say I got the
Logan's a big guy.
I got the one punch Logan KO.
Oh my God, that's so hilarious. Could you imagine if he did? Could you imagine if he clips Floyd Mayweather in a temple and you see Floyd Mayweather doing the chicken dance?
Imagine what the crowd would do.
Imagine
if there
what anybody would do.
Would be a crowd. Yeah, but I mean,
I wonder when they're going to be able to have it. Let's do it in China or some shit.
yeah,
Fuck it.
I don't know. I'm just pretty impressed with how Logan Paul has, for a young kid, has made so much money. And,
Talking a lot of shit.
and turn these opportunities to fight Floyd. What?
I know, but the thing about it is, who's going to sanction that? The weight classes are so different.
Yeah.
Floyd
It'd be
is
50 pounds different.
It could be 50 pounds plus.
Yeah.
It could be more. I
Yeah.
don't think Floyd's walks around at more than 155 pounds.
Probably
100
not.
Maybe 160 at the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah.
And when he's in shape,
Yeah.
less than that probably.
But here's the crazy thing. I'll watch the shit out of that.
I'll watch the shit out of it too.
I mean, everybody will.
What were we talking about? Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are like, what are we doing? What is happening here?
Yeah.
I like the fact that they decided not to do it September 12th, so it already would have happened.
Yeah.
They decided to extend it deep into November, give everybody a chance to really train and ramp
Yeah.
up the promotion and let everybody know. And it's more and more exciting every day. Roy Jones Jr. was posting some shit on his Instagram.
Yeah.
Dude, he's still got some hand
Really?
speed. Yeah. See if you can find that. And he's coming in here soon. See if
So
you
I
can
was
find.
looking for Logan Paul wrestling posts, and all I'm finding them is play sparring. with
Yeah,
boxing.
there's a little bit of boxing play sparring, but there's a bunch of wrestling scrambling in there that's really impressive.
Not in the video I saw. And it's
Well,
on his
I'm
blog.
telling you
I know,
it's real.
I know. I'm looking.
You have to
I'm
do
looking,
another
looking.
retraction.
No,
I might
I'm
have
just
to.
looking
I might have
there's
to.
a
I
video
apologize. I lied about Logan Paul wrestling.
Just do it in advance.
That
do
fight.
it for everything,
Yeah.
just in case.
That fight is going to be one of the most ridiculous things ever, though. If you
Yeah.
can get a YouTube star to box the literal best boxer of
yeah,
the last 100
of all
years.
time. Never lost.
Yeah.
15-0.
So, yeah, but back it up before that. Yeah, let him scramble. The jiu-jitsu train. Okay, so this is just jiu-jitsu training. They're rolling around the mat, but they do some scrambles. See, I don't know how much Logan has trained jiu-jitsu, but
hey.
watch
Oh, he's
watch
gonna
the
do
wrestling.
something.
Watch this though. Seriously, the kid can wrestle. Like, come on, they're not showing it. What kind of horse shit is this? Is this because they want him to look good? They want.
I don't know.
Oh god damn it! I know it's there.
Hey, what about the full? Oh no.
What do we got? Come on, show me some shit. That's it? Well, it exists.
It's somewhere.
So they did a lot of sparring, like boxing sparring for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is just showing. Let it go right here. Let's see what happens here. Show me some wrestling, bro. It's amazing that Paulo Costa can make 185 pounds. That's what's amazing. The dude walks
Yeah.
around at 230 and he's a tank. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
he could be a heavyweight.
230?
Close to the same
Oh,
weight
yeah.
class, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
At least there.
Close, similar.
He's 6'2".
I swear it's real. I swear it's not like the Antifa guys lighting fires in Portland. It's real.
They did the.
See if you
but
can find it.
They're getting arrested.
Maybe I'll find it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, there's videos of him wrestling.
Oh, no, there's no videos of him wrestling Paulo
That's
Costa.
the,
No,
that
I've
video
seen
right
it.
there was the best I could find. I'm looking harder, but
Son of a bitch. I see what
Jamie,
you're doing.
come on.
Jamie's punishing me for the Portland thing.
I'm
Yeah.
not. So there's this video of him saying it's getting knocked out, but that was 100%
That's fake.
staged.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 100% fake.
Yeah.
Well, he's smart. He's getting a lot of attention. I just think he's going to be whiffing at air. He's
Oh yeah.
boxing
How
with
would you
Floyd
ever hit
Mayweather.
Floyd? But
Yeah.
if that one connects, that's what I got my money on.
That would be so bananas.
No.
Imagine if Floyd goes
Because Logan's
50
jacked,
and 1
dude.
because he gets KO'd by Logan Paul.
He's jacked. I mean,
Yeah.
he works out hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Super nice
And
kid too.
He's training with Shannon the Cannon Briggs.
Is he?
Shannon the Cannon, at least he was before that last fight that he did.
Yeah.
Shannon the Cannon was training with him.
Yeah. Well, and he hunts, so that's good.
Does he?
Yeah.
Where's he hunt?
He hunted in Ohio before.
What do you like? Whitetail?
Deer. Yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. His dad, because I went and did his podcast, took him a bow, and we shot. And yeah, I mean, he's
People got upset that you did his podcast.
hunters. Yeah.
What? That's weird.
The hunting industry is.
That's
be
weird. First of all,
challenging.
for a lot of people, that there's a hunting industry
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
There is.
because that's what social media has done. It's created like
That's
an
why
industry.
I'm here.
him and the brother, and I think the dad sharing hunting stories.
Yeah.
Oh, look
See?
at that. Interesting. You could find that, but you can't find the fucking wrestling footage.
Yeah.
Well,
I
hey,
see. I
it's-
see.
It's not.
Oh, I see.
That's not how it works.
I get it.
Yeah. Well, who's gonna win Tyson Jones?
I do not want to say because I do not know. But see if you
Tyson.
can. See if you can find Roy Jones Jr. training footage.
And then
He's put up some new stuff. I think yesterday or the day before. That's pretty legit.
you know what we're gonna get? We're gonna
What?
get Tyson Logan Paul.
Oh my God, that would be a murder. Murder scene.
So
3
this-
days ago, I think.
He's still got hand speed.
Yeah.
But he's still got the same style, like hands down.
Yeah.
Look, dude, he looks fast as fuck, though.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I mean, I wonder what he's going to weigh. I mean, god damn, dude.
Yeah.
His hand speed is phenomenal.
Yeah. That's always
Look at
been
that.
his thing has been speed, right?
Not just hand speed, but foot speed as well. Roy's always been. He had a weird style when he was young, which is one of the reasons why when he slowed down, it was very difficult for him to be successful because Roy would, instead of jab people, he would leap in with a left hook.
Yeah.
He had a crazy left hook.
Like
man.
a hook kind of
Yeah.
like a weird hook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he used that in lieu of a jab sometimes, like a lot of times. He did crazy shit, like put his hands behind his back and then knock people out.
Yeah.
He was so good when he was young. People
Yeah.
like that song he made, "Y'all Must Have Forgot."
Yeah.
a lot of people did forget.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember, man, when I was a younger man and Roy Jones Jr. was in his prime. you would just see who's getting executed this week.
Yeah.
You know, and one time he had a fight the day he had a full basketball game. So he had a full basketball game, played like semi-pro basketball, and then after the basketball game, had a fight
Wow.
and won the fight. People are like,
Yeah.
this is disrespectful. Like, this is the Roy Jones Jr. highlight. I mean, come on, son. He was so fast. Look at this. That fight with Vinny Pazienza, that was the only fight that CompuBox ever scored where there was no punches landed on Roy for an entire round.
Really?
Yeah. He had a weird body, man.
God,
Like,
look at that.
incredible. But look how weird his body is. Like, he has enormous biceps.
Yeah.
Like, his biceps were huge, but he didn't have big triceps.
Oh.
He had a really unusual build. Look at his biceps. Bro, his biceps
yeah.
are bananas.
Yeah.
They're bananas. And he had just preposterous speed and timing.
Oh,
and
but
confidence
that would
and
hurt
everything.
so bad right
oh,
there.
yeah.
Look
at
at
him.
this guy. Oh.
He lit people on fire and pissed on
Yeah.
their graves.
Yeah.
He was on just incredible.
That would be, you know how terrible it would be to fight somebody like that?
Oh, man. Well, in his prime, he was so much better than everybody he was fighting. It was just this weird, like, and people were like, "Oh, Roy didn't fight anyone good." Like, incorrect.
Yeah.
They were good. They just weren't Roy Jones Jr.
Right.
Roy Jones Jr. was on a totally different level for years. The thing is, like, a fighter can only maintain that kind of RPM, that fucking that RPMs that he was at. You can only maintain that for a certain amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
so,
Fedor did it for a long time. Anderson Silva did it for a long time. The guys who are like at the very, very best, they can only hold on to it for a certain amount of years.
Yeah.
And then the knees go, the back goes, the joints go, the hands break. Things just, you know.
Yeah. But isn't it kind of conventional wisdom that the power can stay, though?
Oh, yeah.
So that's what,
Yeah.
like with Tyson, I mean, he looks fast there. I'll say Jones looks
I
fast.
found it for you.
Oh, here it is.
Oh,
Look at this.
Look
Only
at that.
15-second
Yeah, look
clip.
at this.
Deep on Reddit.
Yeah, but
See?
dude, but look at the scrambles, man. The kid can fucking wrestle. Like, seriously, legit.
Oh, man.
Look at these scrambles. Like, watch this. See that turnaround, that duck under? Look at this. And Paulo Costa's a beast, dude.
Jeez.
Just the scramble, the way he's spinning around and avoiding the takedown.
That's athletic.
Yes, very Thank you, Jamie.
That was it.
Okay.
Thank you. I knew it was
Retract
real.
that
Now,
retraction.
find me some Antifa guys lighting forest fires, and we're good. He's a real athlete. you
Yeah.
know, and he's a big kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Floyd Mayweather.
that was impressive.
very impressive. So
Yeah.
it was an MMA fight. Floyd would be fucked.
Yeah.
He would
for
get
sure.
takedown and smashed. For sure. 100% bet the house.
Yeah.
But it's not an MMA fight. It's a boxing match. And Floyd's the best of all time.
One punch.
Good luck. One punch. Get out of here with that shit. I just wonder if Roy Jones Jr. is going to be able to avoid Mike Tyson's the bum rush. and
Yeah.
avoid that style of that marauding, attacking style. Because obviously, when you see the Tyson training footage, he's still got that speed.
Yeah.
And he's still got that power.
Power.
He hits those mitts. It's still terrifying. You
Yeah.
know, I don't want to see him get hit by those Tyson hooks.
If it's going to be, I mean, if that happens, it'll be in the first minute or two. And
The
if
weird thing is, like, some people are saying that it's not a fight. They're like saying, well, it's just going to be a sparring match. Like, you better tell that to Tyson. Because
No.
I'll tell the story that I was telling you.
Yeah.
This new studio, there's a certain distance. This table's a certain width. And this
Like
is the exact
5
same
feet, 4
width.
feet?
I don't remember what it is. I don't remember how many inches it is. But this is the exact same width of the old table, the old studio.
Yeah.
But when we moved to this new place, I'm like, maybe it'd be better if it was like a little more intimate. I have a table that's like a little smaller.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did the interview with Tyson.
Yeah.
And he was I had 2 interviews with Tyson. One from like 11 months ago or 10 months ago where he was like smoking weed. He's opening a ranch. He's got this weed ranch. He's like
Yeah.
super chill and he's introspective and philosophical and he's talking
Yeah.
about his past and all his mistakes and how weed makes him a nicer person. He likes himself on weed.
And you felt
how-
comfortable at that distance.
Oh my God, it
right?
was great. It was perfect conversation. I really enjoyed it. And then the next time was when he's fit and slimmed down, dude. You know these weird muscles that you have at the top of your
Yeah.
forearm? It's like he had a golf ball shoved under his skin. He just
Yeah.
like jacked
Yeah.
and ready to
Different
go.
mindset then?
He felt different to be around, man. He was so keyed up. I mean, he's in the middle of training camp.
Yeah.
And he was just super intense.
Different person.
Super. And then when he started talking about how it felt orgasmic to hurt people sometimes. And I'm like, I think I need a wider table. at
And
this
Trump
fucking
sent that
studio.
out?
Yeah, Trump put that on his Twitter with no comment, no context. Just posted that about Mike
I
Tyson
guess he
saying
thought it was
that-
interesting.
But what? How can what? Imagine you're the leader of the free world.
Yeah.
And you go posting shit about how it feels like you want to come when you're beating people up.
Makes sense.
And it's Mike Tyson talking about it too, and he's like, "Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I like
I'm
it.
gonna
Retweet."
repost this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so that made me decide to widen this table.
'Cause
Like
he
if I was a little
was
closer to him,
so
like if we were like
intense.
this close, I might be nervous. It might affect my ability to do the
Those
conversation.
couple inches. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it? 6 extra inches, Jamie? That we widen the table? Yeah. Directly because of Mike Tyson interview. I was like,
Yeah.
yikes.
So yeah. So he's. I think they call that the eye of the tiger.
Yeah. Oh, he had the eye of the tiger. He's ready. He's ready.
Oh.
But the thing is, like, what happens if Roy can move away from him? What happens if Roy could avoid the attack? And how are they going to treat this? Are they going to treat it like a sparring session, or are they going to treat it like war?
That's what originally the reports were saying. It was not going to be a full-out fight. But I don't. If Tyson's looking that intimidating, can he scale it back?
I don't even think he knows what that means. What does
Yeah.
that mean?
I don't know.
I can't imagine he's going to scale it back.
Yeah.
And Roy Jones Jr. was saying something recently, like he thinks he might have made a mistake.
Yeah. I would think that too.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's being serious. Or
He
he's
probably
joking
watched
around.
the interview with Tyson 11 months ago and thought that, oh, I'll fight this guy. This guy's cool. If you watch this recent one, that's when he thought, I think I made a mistake.
Maybe. But the fact that he would say that, I can't imagine he's being serious.
Yeah.
Or unless he wants to make a lot of money. And he's like, this is the way
It'll
to-
make. Isn't it crazy how Tyson can make money for how long has it been? You know, his 85 was when he first broke in. So how many years is this?
I know.
I mean, it's been a fucking while, and he's still Tyson.
I think the last time he fought was in the, I want to say the early 2000s, like 2005 maybe.
I can't. I
He
just know
was-
when he first came up, it was like 85 because I think I was a junior or senior or something like that. But yeah, 35 years ago.
I remember when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, he was 19 years old, said Kid Dynamite.
Yeah,
And it was him at 19
I
years
know.
old, the most exciting heavyweight prospect.
dude.
Yeah.
When Tyson would fight, it was an event.
It was an execution.
Yeah,
You'd watch people get executed.
yeah.
I remember I watched the fight where he lost to Buster Douglas after I knew the result,
Oh,
and I still didn't believe it. I was like,
Yeah.
he's gonna get up, he's gonna knock him out. Like this is Mike Tyson. He can't lose.
I was at some duplex, and I remember him when he was on his hands and knees looking for his mouthpiece. I was like, what is going on?
The world has gone crazy. It's gone
Yeah.
haywire.
Yeah.
It didn't seem real.
No, that was crazy.
I can't imagine he's gonna dial it back. See if you could find Roy's exact statement when he said he thinks he made a mistake, because that to me is like, huh?
Or is he selling it?
Right? Is
You
he
know?
selling it?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. Roy's smart. He's a great commentator. He's one of the best commentators
Yeah.
in the game.
I met him one time. Me, you, him,
Yeah.
and
In Vegas after
yeah,
fights, we were eating
yeah,
steak.
Yeah, yeah.
That was I think that was at Mandalay Bay.
Is that the place?
I
That
think so.
steakhouse we always go?
But that's the one at the MGM. Did we eat there? I think we ate the one at Mandalay Bay, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But yeah, but he's been fighting much more recently. Roy Jones on Mike Tyson exhibition match. I made a mistake going in with him. Tyson is still one of the strongest, most explosive people who ever touched a boxing glove, Jones said. I mean, they got Biden's performance with it. What does it say here? He said, he's still Mike Tyson, still one of the strongest, most explosive people who ever touched a boxing glove. If anything, I made a mistake going in with him. He's the bigger guy. He's the explosive guy, he said. He's going to have all the first-round fireworks, not me. I do have first-round fireworks, but he's known for more first-round fireworks than anybody to ever touch boxing other than maybe George Foreman. Jones' apprehension follows remarks Tyson made last month where he called the match a search and destroy. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. You imagine you're at home. Look, I'm just going to check Twitter before I go to bed.
Yeah, you see that? God.
Search and destroy. Tyson says, this is search and destroy, and I'm looking forward to recapturing my glory. Tyson told TMZ Sports, "The fighting game is what I'm about, and hurting people is what I'm about." Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so interesting for me to see, like Jamie and I talked about it right after Tyson left.
Yeah.
Where Jamie was like, okay, that was a different person. Like
From 11 months ago, you mean? Yeah.
Everything.
everything.
All of it.
The
He wasn't
energy.
ready to fight back then, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was. Yeah, everything he was been saying the last 5 minutes.
He
Yeah.
was saying to us during the podcast the first time,
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I don't even work out. He goes, if I work out, I'll reignite my ego. He goes, I don't
I
want to
remember
do that.
Yes.
And then one of the quotes that he said in this comeback, he said, "The gods of war have reignited my ego." The gods of
Whoa.
war. What a fucking terrifying human.
What I remember is seeing some of those clips of him punching lately with all that power
Oh.
is his legs.
Yeah.
I mean, you know that's where the power.
Yeah.
I saw his quads or his
Mhm.
hamstring, just the size of his legs. I'm like, God, that's a thick kid.
Yeah.
Like Brendan
Well,
Schaub thick.
He's still got it. He's still got it. Whatever it is, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still got it.
Well, I don't know. Should
Yeah.
be fun to watch.
There's a thing about like having that skill when you're young. As long as the body doesn't fall apart, as long as the shoulders still work right and the back's not completely blown out, like especially if, and I don't know what the deal is with TRT and growth hormone and all that stuff, but if he knows how to move his body and he learned how to move his body in a way very few human beings can do, the way he has that shell, that guard where he comes in, that peekaboo style,
Yeah.
just bobbing and weaving and throwing fucking bombs. Like that is in his makeup.
Well, it's like you kicking.
Yeah.
It's like you with your what is it, spinning back kick.
Yeah, all that shit.
Yeah, it's like you've done it since you were 15.
Yeah.
So
it
he's
comes
done the same
apart.
thing.
Exactly.
So no matter what your body does, if you're stronger because of TRT or whatever else, that technique isn't going anywhere.
Yeah, your mind still knows how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a video. Look at this. Mike Tyson gets more ripped with each intense training video. Dude, this is a while ago, though. This is a while
Yeah.
ago. He's way more jacked than this now.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy. Like, this was months and months and months ago.
So this is September, it says
Okay,
right here.
so here we go,
It's
September
not playing this
17th.
video. That's what I was trying to hope it was.
Oh, sons. Oh, here it goes. Oh, this is just a bunch of.
All right, this one though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So this is where I saw. Look at his legs, dude.
Yeah. No, he's exploding. And it's also, he's an unstoppable
oh my
force.
God.
He's an unstoppable force. Still got it.
Yeah.
It's the thing about him is you gotta stop him from
Yeah.
coming, and
How?
you can't. Yeah. Did you ever see the most terrifying Mike Tyson fight for me? Is Marvis Frazier. Did you ever see that fight?
I'm sure I did.
Marvis Frazier, who's Joe Frazier's son.
Yeah.
And there was all this shit talk leading
Right.
up to this fight where Joe Frazier was like, "My son's gonna fuck you up," and he's
Yeah.
like, okay, and there was this intensity because, a lot of people had kind of compared Tyson in many ways to Frazier because they were both fairly short heavyweights.
Yeah.
They both had that sort of bobbing and weaving style. Look how intense that is. And the guy who's training him is Rafael Cordero, who's that's King's MMA in Huntington Beach. Rafael Cordero is a legendary MMA coach, which is really interesting that he's the guy who's training Mike Tyson because
Well, see that quote right there? Look inside my soul and how bad I want it. If Tyson's like, look inside, you don't want that.
look at his forearm. See that what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The muscles on his forearm?
Yeah.
Bro, when he said that muscle is from this. That's from clenching and smashing. Or you're doing chin-ups and shit. But that's like the fist muscle.
Yeah.
Dude, fucking terrifying.
I know.
He's so terrifying.
Yeah.
But Rafael Cordero, the guy who's training him, which is really interesting, he's not necessarily known as a boxing trainer. He's a Muay Thai trainer. Obviously, trained Anderson Silva, trained a lot of the Curitiba guys, the shoot-to-box guys like Mauricio Shogun, Ninja, like Vanderlei Silva, some of the all-time great MMA legends of the pioneers. He was one of the trainers for those guys, like a main trainer for a lot of those guys.
I wonder why he went with
legendary.
him.
I think they just started out like hitting pads together.
Oh.
And
get back in
I
the
think
groove.
he just likes the guy, and they
Yeah.
started hitting pads together, and he likes what he's bringing to the table. And
Yeah.
yeah,
I always wonder what would have happened if, was it
Customano.
if he wouldn't have died.
Oh yeah, it
You
would have been
know,
a different world.
I mean, because that's what kind of got Tyson. Then he was with Don King and that whole thing and unhealthy lifestyle. But when he was with Customato, it was like, it was just singular vision of.
Yeah, he probably would have been even greater than he was.
Yeah,
He probably
that's what I'm
would have been
thinking.
maintained it much longer than he did. Yeah, I mean, Cuss probably would have kept him up in the Catskills,
Yeah.
pulled him away from all the bullshit.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
And
well,
could
he just, we talked about it a bit, but what an amazing father figure Cuss was. But we also talked about how Cuss hypnotized him.
really.
Oh, yeah, man. When he was young, Cuss hypnotized him. And that was part of his ability to, like, seek and destroy, is that Cuss told him things like, you don't exist, just the task. The task exists.
Oh,
That there's a man in front of you, you're breaking that man down. And that's the task. You don't exist. Like, crazy shit like that.
Wow.
You're telling that to a 13-year-old. And then you have the perfect storm of this 13-year-old is incredibly physically gifted,
yeah.
right? He was 13 years old. He weighed 190 pounds.
Oh
and,
my god. Yeah.
and Teddy Atlas told me he would bring him to these smokers. A smoker is like an amateur boxing event
Yeah.
that they would do in boxing gyms.
Right.
And he'd bring him to these smokers, and everybody would lie. Like, how many fights does this guy have? Oh, he's only had 2 fights.
Yeah.
Kid's had like 30 fights.
Right.
And so they'd bring Tyson. He goes, how old's the kid? He goes, he's 13. He goes like, that fucking kid is not 13. He's like, okay, he's 16.
Yeah.
How old do you want him to be?
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, 16. I got a 16-year-old for him. And he just smashed this poor guy.
Right.
But he was 13. He was just smashing people.
Yeah.
It was the first thing that he ever did that got him real love and attention and accept. First thing he ever did where people were like, you're special. There's something to you. And then he has this guy in Customato who's a legend in boxing.
Yeah.
Like one of the most respected, legendary trainers in boxing.
Right.
He had trained Jose Torres, Floyd Patterson. There he
Yeah.
is. And he's giving this kid information and talking to this kid
Yeah.
about what he can accomplish and what he can be. And
Incredible.
yeah, I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
That was when he was full Jack Dempsey mode.
Yeah.
That was when he was 19. He was awesome, man.
Yeah.
I just think I would not want to be in there with him.
No.
Definitely not me. But I mean, if I was a heavyweight boxer who's like anywhere near his age, I don't want none of that.
I wonder how he'd do. Like, if he came back in shape, I wonder how he'd do, like, against Tyson Fury.
The real problem is no matter what you do, he's still 54.
Yeah.
No matter what you do.
But those
He's
guys
still
don't
been knocked
go.
out. Well, listen,
Yeah.
listen, yes, they do. They do.
They go hard.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But
Tyson Fury is 6'9".
I know. He's huge.
Mike Tyson is pretty close to my size. Okay?
Yeah.
When I stand next to him, we're not like in a
Right.
different universe.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury's in a different universe than me.
Yeah.
When I met him, I'm like, hello, giant. Like he's
true,
he's
yeah,
a
that's
giant.
true.
Like
Yeah.
and he's a big giant. Like Deontay Wilder's a giant too, but
Yeah.
he's slender. Deontay Wilder doesn't weigh much more than me. Which
Really?
is crazy. Dude, when he fought Tyson Fury the first time and he dropped him twice,
Yeah.
he weighed 209.
Wow.
209.
Wow. And he's
6'9", something crazy like that, 6'7". He's huge, but he's a preposterous power puncher.
Yeah.
He's preposterous.
Yeah, 40 knockouts or something.
Yeah, like he knocked out everybody except one dude and Tyson Fury
Yeah.
in the last fight, and then in both fights. In the last fight he got stopped by Tyson Fury.
I love Tyson Fury's story though too.
It's amazing.
I mean,
Yeah.
What
The
a
fact
comeback
the fact that he was like literally accelerating his Ferrari towards a bridge.
to kill himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then decided not to and just was like really fucked up. Dude, boxing by itself, just getting hit in the head, is not good for your brain.
No.
It's just not. And then you have cocaine and booze and chaos and
Yeah.
fame and all those things that came after he beat Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah.
And he didn't just beat Vladimir Klitschko. He humiliated him.
Yeah.
He mocked him.
Yeah.
He taunted him. He outboxed him.
He's
and then
such
he
a good
sang.
boxer.
He sang in the ring horrible songs.
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, he's so
So good.
good. Yeah. I mean, technique wise,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Well, and then coming back and using that guy from Kronk, it's Sugar Hill, right? That's his trainer for the last fight. I believe that's the gentleman from Kronk. Kronk was Emmanuel Stewart's gym, which created Tommy Hearns and Gerald McClellan and all these fucking assassins. And they had this real aggressive attacking style. And he took on that style for the
Yeah.
second fight with Deontay. So he came after him, which, yes, Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill Stewart. And is that Emmanuel's son? I don't know that. But that would be amazing if it was.
Yeah.
but he had a different style. He came after Deontay.
Yeah.
And he realized that Deontay does not fight as well going back.
Right.
But Deontay hits dudes in like the top of the head and puts them to sleep.
I
He
know.
hits guys, and it's like, what happened? Like they got
Yeah.
shot with a sniper rifle.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Such big humans. Like I thinking of it now, you're right. I mean, giants.
Giants.
With skill though.
Yeah, Tyson's so big. Tyson Fury, he's so huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go Logan Paul, Mike Tyson, if they both win.
You imagine if they set that up? Listen, that's a real thing that could happen.
I know.
It's not if they both win, because Logan's not going to win. He's not going to win.
Dude, the one punch.
I can't imagine that happening. I'm not a gambling man per se, but I would be willing to bet $1 million that he's not going to knock out Floyd Mayweather. I'd be like, I just can't imagine a world where that
Yeah.
takes place.
Yeah.
It could happen. Don't get me wrong. It could happen.
Yeah. It's a fight game.
It would be the weirdest moment in all of boxing if Logan Paul connects with a big punch and knocks Floyd Mayweather out.
Oh God.
It'd be horrible. In a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, it would be amazing.
yeah.
It would be both horrible and amazing.
Yeah.
It's his nephew.
Okay.
Yeah. So, they devised a perfect strategy, Sugar Hill and Tyson Fury in the rematch. But then there's going to be another fight in December. So they're fighting again. The third fight is going to be in December.
Who? Wait.
Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
It's weird watching these fights with no audience too.
Yeah.
It's weird.
How do you? I mean, do you like doing UFC with no?
I do like it. Yeah. I don't not like it. I do like it.
Yeah.
The thing about it that's really strange is you hear everything. You hear
Yeah.
every grunt. You hear deep breaths. You hear shit talk. You hear corners, coaching, like
Yeah.
really clearly. 3-5, 3-5. Like, look for the left. Move to the side. Stay away from his right leg. Like, all these things. Get out of kicking range. Like,
Yeah.
you hear things that you don't necessarily hear unless those guys are mic'd up. And we sometimes, occasionally, when there's a live crowd, we'll tune into those people. Like, you
Yeah.
tune into them. And then, the coach, there'll be a camera on them, and we'll listen to the corner while they're giving instructions. But it's not most of the time. It's just occasionally.
Right.
But during these big fights with no audience, you hear everything the coaches are saying. Everything.
Yeah.
They have this date in December locked up for the Vegas new football stadium,
Oh.
only because they're hoping to have fans there for
Yeah.
it. So I don't know how many, but it lines up with the NFL schedule, so the venue's open.
How is that possible?
I think they were hoping to have 15,000, I think. So it'd be definitely distanced in there. I don't know how, though.
Yeah, because the stadium probably holds.
Probably close to 80, 90.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
So they'd be all spread out.
How weird.
I know.
But I mean, would you want to go there?
Yeah.
15,000 people
Would you
coughing.
not? There's a football game last night in Cleveland. There's 6,000 people there, and they still had a fight in the stands. You know what? People
Yeah.
get drunk. They watch football. That's what they want to do. They're going to go to Vegas. They're going to party. They're going to be crazy.
Hey,
Man.
Cleveland won.
They did. They pulled
Yeah.
off.
Hopes that fans will be able to attend. Yeah, maybe. Well, at a certain point in time, I believe.
It's after the election.
Yeah,
So it'll be over.
Maybe, yeah, after the election, it's all going to be fine, unless there's riots. Who knows
Yeah.
what's going to happen after the election? I mean, the world could be filled with chaos after the election.
Man, I don't know. Where are the fights this weekend?
They are taking place in Vegas. This is at the Apex Center, and then next weekend is Fight Island. So the next few fights are at Fight Island, but this one's at the Apex Center, which is an awesome place for fights. It's
Yeah.
awesome. The acoustics are amazing. The way they have it set up is amazing. And the UFC, kudos to the UFC for doing the right job, doing the best job they can. They test the shit out of everybody. Everybody wears masks.
Yeah.
There it is. Fight night. What's the card? Let me see the card. I know Cowboys on the card against
Yeah.
Nico Price. That is a tough fight. And that dude, Khamzat, I don't know how you say his last name, Chimaev.
Oh, my God.
He's a beast. That kid is a
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah. He's
That's an interesting fight.
very confident.
But Gerald Mearshart has got a lot of experience, man.
Yeah. Lots of fights.
You know?
Look at
Yeah.
that.